Big part of this channel is about unlocking your own potential. And I think one of the biggest hindrances in people is a victim mentality. And what do I mean by a victim mentality? A victim mentality is that little voice in your head that tells you, you can't do this because of this. You can't do this because of them. You can't do this because this is that way. You can't do this because of your circumstances. And the truth is that you can't do anything because of the BS you tell yourself. You can't do anything because you don't do anything. When I was in the 7th grade, I remember I went to the movies. I actually went there to meet a friend. They didn't show up. And I saw these kids, 3 kids, and they beat the living piss out of me. I mean, they kicked my rear end, punched me in the back of the head, punched me in the face, really, really put a beating on me. And from that day forward, I learned that, or at least that was the beginning of it. I learned that, and I didn't fight back. That was the interesting thing. I didn't fight back. And because I think the way that I was raised was like, you know, like they were hitting me in the face, and I mean, they were beating me, and I was taught to not to not punch people in the face, you know. But there's times in your life when you have to fight back, and there's times in your life when somebody is going to overstep their boundaries with you, and you have to punch back. Punching someone for no reason, whether it's physically or emotionally, is wrong. It's victimizing someone. And when you're being victimized by somebody else or by yourself, you have to learn to punch back. You have to learn to fight back in life. You have to learn to turn off those negative voices, whether they're your own or somebody else's, and start taking action. It's like Nike. Just do it. Just do something. And sitting there and telling yourself you can't do something because him, her, and the other is not doing something. That's victimizing yourself. It's a victim mentality, and you will never, never get to where you want to go if you tell yourself that story. We usually become the story that we tell ourselves, okay? And you should think deeply about that. What's the story that you tell yourself on a day-to-day basis? What's the story that is the reason why you can or cannot do something in life? Is someone physically holding you down? Like, are they bear hugging you into the ground? Most people, that's not the case. Are you physically locked in a room? Are you trapped in the basement? No. A lot of people are trapped by their own mindset, by the story that they tell themselves. Okay? And yes, you know, you might want to go do something that'll help fulfill your potential, and you might get groveling from the herd, whether it's your wife, your friend circle, etc., etc., etc. Why are you doing that? You know what? Out of sight, out of mind. Just go. You have to make people like that conform, because a lot of times the herd wants you to conform to the lowest common denominator, because what you might be doing might be upsetting them, because they know deep down that they're not doing anything. So their only form that they can assume when they see somebody else trying to do something is to undermine it. Think about that. How many times when you go to do your dream, okay, you go to do something that you're passionate about, do people actively say, hey, let me help you with that? Hey, is there anything I can do to help you with that? Now, I'm not saying they're required to, versus how many times when you say something to someone, go, why don't we go to the bar? Why don't we go to the football game? Let's sit around and watch football today. Okay? Nothing wrong with watching football. I like watching football. The point is, why are you doing that? Somebody wants you to go out, get a beer. You say no. Fine, be like that. Passive-aggressive behavior. Almost worse than aggressive behavior. And then you say, yeah, you're right. I'll skip it this week. I'll skip it this week. Then 2 years go by, 3 years go by, and suddenly you're pushing 40. Because of what? Because you let the voices in your head and the voices of other people steer you off your course. Simple as that. So in life, you got to learn how to fight back. You got to learn how to go from point A to point B without people pushing you off of the balance beam. You have to learn how to have those horse blinders. You have to learn how to tell people no. You know, somebody kept asking me, Scott, you said telling people no is the key to the next level. Well, that's really what I mean, okay? Because people will always try to veer you off of your goal. They'll try to veer you off of what you're trying to accomplish. It's not that they do it totally maliciously, okay? Sometimes they're just doing it because they're selfish or for their own benefactor, okay? And to be able to tell people, no, I'm good, that's okay, that allows you to go to the next level. That allows you to accomplish the small tasks to get to the next level, okay? Nobody builds a giant brick wall in a day. They build brick by brick by brick by brick. And sometimes each one of those bricks is a little sacrifice. A little time you had to say, hey, we're not going to the bar because I got to wake up tomorrow and work my rear end off towards the thing that I want to accomplish. I need momentum. If you can't get momentum built up because you're always getting knocked off the balance beam, you're never going to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Momentum is one of the most powerful things. I mean, I think my YouTube channel is a great example of that. If I just stopped making videos, okay, just completely stopped for 6 months, a year, I can guarantee it would be a lot harder to get into it. Even when I take 4 or 5 days off for what have you, and a lot of times that stuff is life obligations that I'm like, you know, I'm just busy, okay? It stifles your momentum. And it's like, am I going to do it again? But when I'm going, I'm popping, pop, 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 pop. It flows out and it's unstoppable. And people can pick up on that vibration, okay? People can pick up on confidence. They can pick up on Winergy, coined here on Wallace, saying winner plus energy, Winergy. And if somebody knows that you got that Winergy, they don't challenge it as much. If somebody knows that you question yourself and you're not sure, they're right there to reaffirm that you shouldn't be sure. Why are you doing that? And to question you and to double down on your own lack of confidence in what you're doing and to convince you that their idea, which is taking you off their path, is better than your idea. Folks, horse blinders, keep swinging back, keep fighting back. You have this in you. Do something today. Do something today, whether it's make a call, send an email, start the project, create a deadline for the things that you want to accomplish, okay? I know there's one person out there watching this who has something that they've been putting off. Why are you putting off? And when they say start today, that doesn't mean tell yourself you're going to start today and then tell yourself you're going to start tomorrow, okay? I know that game too. That means start like right now. Do something right now. If you have 30 minutes free for the rest of the day, when you normally spend it playing grab ass, reading through bull crap on the internet, watching YouTube videos that don't help you and don't further your mission, spend that 30 minutes just outlining something, outlining your plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to the goal. And check them off, check them off, check them off. Because if you start to do that and you start to build that momentum and you start to get 25, 50, 75% of the way through, you could be a different person in 6 months. Or you could be the same person in 6 months and the same person you were 10 years ago. You still have it in you if you have your health. You still have a dream. And I just want people to know that there's people out there like you, just like me, who they go through the same thing every day. But we get up and we don't let the people knock us off of the balance beam. And they've knocked us off 100 times before, but not today. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you tuning in. Horse blinders, punch back. Love you all. See you. If I don't see you, I'll see you. I messed that one up. All right, later.